The most perplexing enigma in the human world is the tangled web of love and hatred among family members. Those who share our bloodline sometimes become the most distant strangers to our souls. Could it be that behind this lies the ineffable karmic code hidden within the cycles of samsara? Buddhism states that the causes from past lives are the conditions for what one experiences in the present life, just as the effects in future lives arise from the actions performed in the present. This seemingly simple principle reveals the profound mystery of the cycle of existence. Every karmic connection in this life may arise from a single thought in a past life, and every choice made today will influence the circumstances of future lives. What is even more thought-provoking is that those who evoke the deepest anger in us in this life may, in the subsequent existence conditioned by karma, become our closest relatives. This seemingly paradoxical law of samsara, as described in the Sutra of the Original Vows of Kshitigarbha Bodhisattva and the Buddhist Sutra on the Recompense of Sin and Merit in the Five Paths of Samsara, conceals what kind of liberating wisdom within this cycle of rebirth. Beyond the bustling city of Luoyang, during the Tang Dynasty, stands an ancient temple called Jinglin Monastery, isolated from the world yet offering refuge to all beings. Surrounded by verdant mountains and towering ancient pines, the temple resounds with the distant tolling of bells and the continuous chanting of the Buddha's name. Here resides a venerable and highly respected Chan master of the monastic order, who perceives causality with clarity and comprehends the mysteries of this ancient temple. Devotees from all directions frequently come seeking the Dharma and inquiring about the way. On a spring afternoon, the temple received a visitor with a haggard appearance. His name was Wang De, a well-respected benefactor in the city of Luoyang. Known for his daily acts of charity and generous donations, as well as cultivating widespread goodwill, he had nevertheless grown increasingly thin due to a pressing matter weighing on his heart. Wang De walked along the mountain path shaded by green bamboo and arrived before the gate of the meditation hall. He saw the Zen master Kong Ming sitting upright in meditation on the cushion, his countenance serene and his breath steady and long. Wang De did not dare to disturb and stood quietly aside. After a moment, the Zen master slowly opened his eyes, his gaze clear and serene like autumn waters. Amitabha Buddha, venerable benefactor, you have traveled afar. Surely you carry thoughts weighing on your mind. Master Kongming's voice is calm, yet it carries a penetrating power that discerns the heart. Wang De immediately stepped forward and knelt down. Disciple Wang De has come specifically to seek an audience with the Chan master, hoping to resolve the doubts in my heart. Please speak, Wang De sighed. It is acceptable that the disciple has arrived, but there is one matter that troubles me day and night. I have only one son, Wang Lin, who has been exceptionally intelligent since childhood. However, he has a strong and unyielding temperament, and we have never been on good terms. Recently, our relationship has deteriorated to the point of complete irreconcilability. At this point, a trace of pain flashed in Wang De's eyes. Whenever I taught him the way of conduct and behavior, he would retort defiantly. I disciplined him strictly, yet he became even more rebellious. I have tried various methods to improve the relationship, but they have always been in vain. In the deep silence of the night, I often toss and turn, unable to sleep, wondering why the bond between father and son is so fraught with hardship. Master Kongming closed his eyes in meditation for a moment, then spoke slowly. The familial affections we experience earnestly are all determined by karmic connections from past lives. The Kshitigarbha Sutra states, it is difficult to speak of the countless sentient beings' errors. Every action, every thought is karma. Every karma is sin. The discord between the benefactor and his son likely stems from unfinished karmic causes from past lives. Wang Deswang furrowed his brows tightly, feeling that as a disciple he was dull and unable to understand how karmic connections from past lives influence the father-son relationship in this lifetime. Master Kongming rose, walked into the courtyard, and pointed to a blooming lotus nearby, saying, "Venerable, do you see this lotus?" Wangda nodded, naturally observing the flowers blooming very beautifully. Seeing the beauty of the lotus flower, he did not realize that its roots were anchored in the mud. Ordinary people see only the events of the present life, but fail to perceive the causes from past lives. Zen master Kongming gently picked up a lotus flower and, pointing to its petals, continued, "The Buddha said in the Sutra on the revolving 5 paths of sin and retribution that those who were enemies in past lives may become close family members in this life. Why is the Wang Duan spoken great scripture thus? Can a person who is hated truly become kin? Isn't this just the continuation of enmity into the next life?" Master Kongming shook his head and said, "Benefactor, you have misunderstood. The cycle of birth and death is all governed by karmic forces. Hatred is one of the most intense emotions. In the cycle of the 6 realms of existence, strong emotions create powerful karmic obstacles, resulting in rebirth and future encounters. This is not a punishment, but an opportunity for both parties to resolve their past karma." The Zen master placed the lotus back into the water, causing gentle ripples to spread. The ancient masters said, "Enemies should be resolved, not compounded. Each should turn inward and reflect upon themselves. If the resentments of this life are not resolved, they may transform into more complex karmic conditions in the next life." Master Kongming further recounted a story from the time of Shakyamuni Buddha. During the time of the Buddha, there was a man surnamed Sakya, named Siddhartha, who was immensely wealthy but narrow-minded. He and the neighboring merchant often quarreled over matters of business, harboring deep resentment toward each other, eager to continue their enmity even to the death. One day, Siddhartha reported this matter to the Buddha, hoping that the Buddha would seek justice on his behalf. The Buddha compassionately looked at Siddhartha and told him, "This merchant had also formed a deep enmity with you in your past life, and in this life, karmic forces have brought you together once again. If this matter cannot be resolved, it will inevitably continue in the next life, potentially taking the form of closer relationships, such as father and son or brothers, to repay the karma of enmity." Siddhartha did not understand why one should strive to become kin. Doesn't this perpetuate resentment? The Buddha explained that in familial relationships, where individuals live together day and night, there are more opportunities to confront and resolve resentments carried over from past lives. This is the great compassion of the universe, offering sentient beings the opportunity for liberation. After hearing Wangda, he pondered deeply. According to the Chan master's words, the discord between my son and me may stem from resentment in a past life. Is there a method to resolve this? Master Kongming's teaching emphasizes that the mind of hatred is difficult to dissolve unilaterally and requires mutual harmony. Diligence in the Dharma tools leads to continuous wisdom. For others, wisdom ceases. This ancient noble Dharma teaches that enmity will not cease if enmity persists. One must first relinquish a harsh demeanor and treat others with compassion in order to change the course of karma. The Zen master further added, "Daily, wholeheartedly repent and reflect upon the moments of conflict with your son, contemplating whether you may have been at fault. At the same time, try to understand his thoughts and appreciate his strengths, rather than focusing solely on his shortcomings. Gradually, the entanglement of karmic forces will begin to loosen." Wangda respectfully recorded the Zen master's teachings. After bidding farewell, he embarked on his journey home with a firm resolution in his heart. He would change his attitude toward his son, no longer harshly blaming him, but instead trying to approach him with understanding and compassion. In the beginning, Wang Ling felt confused about his father's transformation and maintained a distance. However, as his father's attitude continued to change, his heart gradually softened. 3 months later, he began to initiate conversations with his father. After 6 months, they were able to sit down and have dinner together. A year later, father and son could openly discuss their life ideals and aspirations. After 3 years passed, Wangda, on his deathbed during a visit to Jing, reported to Chan Master Kongming the significant improvement in the father-son relationship. This time, Wangda's face was radiant, his demeanor relaxed, and beside him stood a handsome and upright young man, his son Wang Ling. Master Kongming nodded robustly and with satisfaction. Well said, well said. To be able to dissolve anger in this life not only improves current relationships, but also severs the karmic entanglements in future lives. After bidding farewell to the Zen master, Wang Ling descended the mountain first, while Wangda stayed behind to seek further guidance from Master Kongmin on deeper doubts. Master, although the student's relationship with his son has improved, there remains doubt in his heart. Why does the hatred from a past life result in the father-son relationship in this present life? This seemingly appears as a form of punishment, yet why does it manifest in the form of familial affection? Master Kongming invited Wangda to sit down, took a sip of clear tea, and slowly spoke, saying that the cause and effect in mantras is not punishment, but instruction and transformation. The Buddha teaches in the Samyukta Agama that if the mind of hatred is not resolved, it will form karmic entanglements in the cycle of birth and death, samsara. The Zen master took a sutra from the bookshelf and pointed to a passage, saying, "The Mahaprajnaparamita states that the suffering of encountering what is hated is one of the 8 sufferings of life. Sentient beings, due to ignorance of cause and effect, cling to worldly desires, thereby generating suffering. The Zen master's wrath transforms into present purity, essentially providing each other an opportunity for resolution." Master Kongming gently touched the sutra and continued to explain that purity is the most profound human relationship and also the circumstance that best cultivates the mind and character. Poetry reflects that if we have a conflict with a stranger, we can turn away and never meet again. But when it comes to family, especially the closest of kin such as parents and children, we cannot easily evade them. In such inescapable relationships, we are compelled to confront our own emotions and attachments, providing an opportunity to deeply understand the other and gradually dissolve the hatred carried over from past lives. Buddhism emphasizes the practice of rebirth and perseverance, which means transforming negative emotions into wisdom and compassion. The pure and tranquil realm is precisely the best place for this transformation to occur. Wang Dezi, having attained some understanding, further inquired, "Lately I have often contemplated, if those whom we hate become our relatives in future lives, does that mean all the various relationships in this world have prior causes? Are relationships, such as those between husband and wife, siblings, and friends, all determined by karmic deeds from past lives?" Master Kongming smiled faintly. The Avatamsaka Sutra states that if one wishes to fully understand, all Buddhas of the past, present, and future observe the nature of the Dharmatattva, recognizing that all arise from the mind. All phenomena in the world are mind-made. The continuity of cause and effect is unceasingly ongoing. Behind the purity lies a profound karmic force that guides it. The Zen master took an ancient wooden bowl from the edge of the cliff, half filled with clear water. He gently shook the bowl, causing ripples to spread across the surface. The human mind is like the water. When a thought arises, it creates waves that ripple outward endlessly, influencing all around. A single thought of hatred can trigger karmic entanglements spanning countless lifetimes, while a single thought of compassion can dissolve enmity accumulated over innumerable kalpas. The Zen master paused his actions, gazing at the gradually calming surface of the water. The bond between husband and wife may arise from karmic connections in past lives, or it may stem from deep-seated resentment. When brothers quarrel, it may be the reunion of rivals from past lives. Only deep affection can be the continuation of virtuous karmic connections across lifetimes. However, the purpose of understanding these causal connections is not to indulge in the past, but to remind us to cherish every relationship in this life, face them with the right attitude, and avoid creating new karmic entanglements. Master Kongming looked up at Wangda with profound eyes and said, "Patron Wang, what you most want to understand now may not only be the law of cause and effect, but how to transcend this cycle of karma, is it not? Behind the notion of regarding enemies in past lives as relatives lies a greater mystery. How sentient beings can find the path to liberation amid this seemingly endless cycle of karmic existence. Wanda respectfully nodded. The Chan master, with eyes as sharp as a torch, saw that the disciple truly wished to understand what important practice insights were concealed within this cycle. If one truly understands the ultimate path to liberation, how then should one regard familial bonds in this life? Master Kongming looked into Wang's expectant eyes and spoke slowly. The core of the Dharma is not in understanding the law of cause and effect, but in transcending the bondage of cause and effect. The Diamond Sutra states that all dharmas as taught by the Tathagata are actually non-dharmas. Although all dharmas are nominally named, the cycle of karmic actions in the world, which seems endless, truly has an end. The Zen master picked up a string of prayer beads and showed them to Kingda. The string consisted of 108 beads, connected end to end. One bead's fine thread seemed to have no beginning or end, much like sentient beings caught in the cycle of rebirth within the six realms. However, each bead actually had a fixed position. Similarly, although the cycle of karma appears endless, it follows an inherent law. If a practitioner attains enlightenment, they can transcend this cycle of karma and no longer be bound by cause and effect. Wanda joined his hands in a gesture of reverence and asked, "What is awakening? How can one transcend cause and effect?" Master Kongming explains that the first step of enlightenment is to clearly understand the principle of dependent origination, that all phenomena arise due to causes and conditions and cease due to causes and conditions. The mind of anger has no intrinsic nature. It arises due to causes and conditions and also ceases due to causes and conditions. When we deeply understand this, we can comprehend the profound meaning of anger and hatred as causes for rebirth. The Zen master is not a master of idleness. This cyclical arrangement of karmic forces is, in fact, the great compassion of the universe. Through familial relationships, it provides opportunities for individuals to confront and resolve the resentments of past lives. As stated in the Vimalakirti Nirdeesa Sutra, when a mind is at peace, the land is peaceful. When the inner hatred is purified, the external entanglements of karma naturally unravel. Master Kongming also said that the Buddha began in the Nirvana Sutra by teaching that all sentient beings possess Buddha nature, and regardless of the circumstances they encounter in this life, all are opportunities for practice. Conflicts and reconciliation within familial love are in fact manifestations of the Buddha nature. By resolving hatred, we not only improve relationships in this life, but also purify our own hearts, drawing closer to the Buddha nature inherently complete within us. Wang Deruo pondered deeply. The Zen master's words were indeed profound. After improving my relationship with Quanzi, my heart truly feels more at peace with far fewer troubles. I can sleep soundly at night, and during the day, the sunlight seems brighter. Could this transformation be what the Zen master referred to as the purification of the mind? Zen master Kongming nodded with a smile, saying, "Exactly so." Observing the clouds with a detached gaze, all the ocean of karmic obstacles arises from deluded thoughts. One must let go of hatred, attachment, and other lustful desires. The mind will naturally become pure, and karmic obstacles will naturally dissipate. This is the realm of spiritual practice. The Zen master took out a scroll from under the tea table and slowly unrolled it. The painting depicted a serene-faced Zen master smiling gently at the moon. This portrait of the Northern Peak Zen master has been passed down for a long time. It portrays an enlightened monk who, according to legend, once harbored deep resentment towards his elder brother. Through diligent practice and contemplation of karmic cause and effect, he not only resolved the enmity with his brother, but also attained the state of great enlightenment and profound realization. Master Kongming further expounded on deeper principles, stating that the ultimate purpose of the cycle of karma and rebirth is to guide sentient beings to recognize their own mind. The hatred from past lives transforms into affection in this life. This very transformation reveals the impermanence of all phenomena. By observing such changes, we can understand the truth of the impermanence of all conditioned things and the non-self nature of all dharmas. The Flower Garland Sutra states, "The mind is like a skillful painter painting various colors and forms. In all worlds, there is no dharma that is not created." When we truly understand that all phenomena arise from the mind, we could transcend the bondage of karma. Wangda respectfully asked, "How should a disciple cultivate in order to attain this state?" Master Gongming smiled and said, "Begin by resolving hatred first." The Lotus Sutra states that all dharmas are impermanent phenomena. The deepest and most profound truths cannot be expressed in words, but lie in practice, not speech. In daily life, when encountering conflicts or disputes, refraining from ill will and responding with compassion and tolerance is the best practice of cultivation. The Zen master further instructed that practice can be cultivated from the following three aspects. First, observing the mind, constantly being aware of one's thoughts without being swayed by feelings of anger or resentment. Second is the cultivation of loving kindness, generating compassion for all sentient beings, including those who have once caused you anger or resentment. Third is the understanding of principles, deeply comprehending the law of cause and effect, recognizing that all experiences in this life arise from specific conditions, and refraining from unjustly blaming oneself or others. Wangda further asked, "If one encounters anger and hatred in this life that are difficult to resolve, how should one deal with it? Some anger and hatred may not be resolved by my effort alone." Master Kongming explains that in the Agama Sutras, the Buddha teaches that if the other party cannot accept reconciliation, one should still relinquish their own resentment and confront the situation with a pure mind. By unilaterally letting go, one can alter the course of karma and alleviate entanglements in future lives. What is important is the evolution of the inner mind, not the external results. Just as the sun does not cease to shine because of clouds covering it, our compassion should not waver due to others' rejection. Continue diligent practice, maintaining inner tranquility and peace. Karma will eventually transform over time. Zen Master Kongming concluded that the mystery of karma and reincarnation ultimately comes down to spiritual practice. Through understanding and practicing the Dharma, we can transcend the bondage of karma and attain true liberation. As stated in the Heart Sutra, perceiving the impermanence and emptiness of all phenomena enables one to transcend all suffering and adversity. When we truly realize the emptiness of all phenomena, we can remain at ease within the interplay of cause and effect, no longer bound by karmic forces. As the setting sun sank in the west, the light within the meditation hall grew gentle. Wangda bowed deeply, expressing gratitude for the teacher's teachings. This journey not only dispelled the doubts in his heart, but also deepened his understanding of the profound meaning of life. From that point onward, Wangda not only lived harmoniously with his son, but also began to diligently cultivate his practice and extensively engage in virtuous deeds. He established a school in the city to aid the poor. When conflicts arose, he always first reflected on himself and treated others with compassion. He often told his relatives and friends that the hatred from past lives transforms into affection in this life, providing us with an opportunity to resolve karmic debts. If one can treat every person with compassion, life will attain true freedom. 10 years have passed like flowing water, and Wangda is now advanced in age. At the moment of his passing, he peacefully told the family gathered around his bedside, "I have understood the profound truth of karma and relinquished all attachments in my heart. May in future lives I form good affinities with all sentient beings, harboring no resentment or hatred, and together attain Bodhi." The story of Wangda spread widely, becoming a cherished tale in the city of Luoyang. People come to realize that the contradictions and conflicts in life may very well be karmic connections left unresolved from past lives. The key to resolving these conflicts lies not in blaming others, but in purifying one's own mind and treating others with compassion. When we face resentment and suffering in life, we might consider that the person who arouses anger in your heart today may very well be a relative connected to you by blood in a future life. If one can view all relationships in the world with such perspective, the hatred in the heart will naturally diminish, and the seeds of compassion will take root and sprout in the mind. Only by doing so can we break the cycle of karma, attain true freedom and liberation, and ultimately realize the profound truth of samsara. All anger can be resolved, all grievances will ultimately dissolve, and the true nature of all beings is originally one and the same.